Dear students, in this class, we will be discussing about 19F, 31P and 15N NMR spectroscopy. So in the previous classes, we have learned the very basic principles of nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. And we have learned also the chemical shift spin-spin coupling of NMR spectroscopy. The principle involved in chemical shift spin-spin coupling in these three 15N, 31P and 19F NMR spectroscopy is the same as that of a proton NMR spectroscopy. Okay, so there is no much difference. Okay, so only a difference is in the standard used for chemical shift measurements and in the applied frequency and the natural abundance of the particular nuclei in these compounds. So let us see the spectroscope, these three spectroscopies one by one. Okay, so let us first take 19F NMR. Okay, so this fluorine is a has got 100% natural abundance. Fluorine has got a 100% natural abundance, which is possessing a nuclear magnetic value I is equal to 1 by 2. So which is the same as that of a proton NMR, H1 NMR spectroscopy. Okay, so and as a result of this, this is a very what I can say, more receptive nuclei. F19 is a receptive nuclei than like H1 NMR spectroscopy. Okay, the G value for F19 NMR is G is equal to 5.255. Okay, so which is also very much similar to gyromagnetic ratio Gn. This is 5.255 for a 19F NMR spectroscopy. This is very much similar to proton NMR spectroscopy, whose value is 5.585. Okay, so almost there is no difference in the natural abundance. There is no difference in the nuclear magnetic moment value, I value, and there is no difference in the percentage of the Gn value. So this is most widely studied and more sensitive and more receptive nuclei, similar to H1 NMR spectroscopy. Okay, so F19 is a widely studied for fluorine containing organic compounds and inorganic complexes or mixers. Okay, what is the reference? Chemical shift reference. The chemical shift value will range from 0 to 500 ppm. Okay, so this is a very wide chemical shift scale we are studying in 19F NMR spectroscopy. Okay, because whereas in proton NMR spectroscopy, this chemical shift range is from 0 to 12 or a maximum of 15. Okay, so the peaks obtained in F19 NMR is more widely spaced. Okay, so and hence you get a clear spectrum when compared to a proton NMR spectroscopy. Okay, so chemical shift standard which is used in F19 NMR is a CL3 trichlorofluoromethane is used as a standard in 19F NMR spectroscopy, and for which you will be chemical shift value delta will be assigned 0. Okay, and Apart from this, you can also use trifluoroacetic acid, CF3COH can also be used as a standard. Okay, so like in the chemical shift values, you have a wide range for a fluorine NMR, and the spin-spin coupling in fluorine NMR is very much similar to proton NMR, okay, or in a C13 NMR. So in this case, there will be a spin-spin coupling between fluorine 19F and H1, and there will be a spin-spin coupling between 19F and a 19F nuclei which are present adjacent to each other. Okay, so whenever there is a 19F nuclei present in the neighborhood, there will be a splitting of a signal will take place. Okay, and similarly, whenever there is a H1 in the H1 nuclei in the fluorine site, then there will be a spin-spin splitting will take place. Okay, so in order, if you want to avoid the influence of H1 on F19, then very well you can do it by noise decoupling, double resonance, and there are other methods available to simplify the spectrum. Okay, and but however, the presence of H1 or F19 will be an advantage too, because you will have different J values, coupling constant values. So from the J values, you can ascertain the different kind of fluorine. Okay, like geminal fluorine or vicinal fluorine or cis or trans, or these categories can be recognized, okay, ascertained by its coupling constant value. So let me write some of the coupling constants. So if you have fluorine to fluorine coupling, then so this is a geminal fluorine to fluorine coupling. Okay, so if you have a compound of this type, is called a vicinal. Vicinal coupling. Okay, and similarly you have a cis coupling. And trans coupling. Okay, so these couplings can be, and these types can be distinguished from its coupling constants. For geminal FF coupling will range from 40 to 370 Hz. Vicinal will range from 0 to 45 Hz. And cis coupling will, and cis coupling and trans coupling, this will range from 0 to 60 Hz. Okay, trans coupling will range from 100 to 150 Hz, and the long range coupling will range from 0 to 18 Hz. 0 to 18 Hz. Similarly, fluorine hydrogen coupling can be studied. Fluorine hydrogen coupling can be studied for a geminal fluorine hydrogen, vicinal fluorine hydrogen, cis or a trans. Okay. geminal fluorine hydrogen coupling will range from 40 to 60 Hertz. Vicinal, this is between 0 to 20 Hertz. Okay, and cis coupling will range from 10 to 50 Hertz. Okay, and similarly, trans coupling will range from 50 to 100. So let me confirm this by someone. Okay, so cis coupling will range from 10 to 50 Hertz. Okay, similarly, the couplings in an aromatic ring system can also ring system can also be studied. Say you have a fluorine and a hydrogen coupling in the ortho, meta and para positions. For ortho, fluorine hydrogen coupling will range from 7 to 12 Hertz. Okay, meta fluorine to hydrogen will range from 3.5 to 8 Hertz. Similarly, para fluorine to hydrogen coupling will range from 0 to 3 Hertz. And if you have, instead of this, in an aromatic system, you have a fluorine in the ortho, meta and the para positions. So you will have ranges. Ortho you will have 18 to 35 Hertz. Meta you have 0 to 15 Hertz. Para you have 4 to 16 Hertz. Okay, so you can study either fluorine hydrogen coupling or fluorine to fluorine coupling. Okay, the spin multiplicity will be the same if by either hydrogen or the H1 or F19, but the coupling constant value changes. Okay, so from the coupling constant value we will be able to get enormous information on the structure and the bonding of a organic or a organic compounds. Okay, and now let us go to another spectroscopy. So 31P NMR spectroscopy. Okay, so this is another widely used NMR technique, and P31 is having 100% natural abundance. Okay, and nuclear gyromagnetic value ranges from 2.261. Okay, and the nuclear magnetic moment is 1/2, which is similar to proton NMR spectra. Okay, so and you can use the radio frequency of about 24.286 in 1.4 Tesla. Okay, so earlier in F19 spectroscopy, the radio frequency is 56.46 megahertz at 1.4 Tesla. Okay, now it is 24.286 in 1.4 Tesla. Okay, so because of 100% of natural abundance, okay, and gyromagnetic ratio, and this gyromagnetic ratio is about 40%. 40.5% with reference to 1H spectra. Okay, so this spectra is almost not very less sensitive, but can be studied without any difficulty. Okay, the 31P NMR spectroscopy is very much used in coordination complex of phosphine, phosphide and phosphonium salts, and this can be very much used in nucleic acid, adenosine diphosphate, adenosine triphosphate, and it can be used in the study of phospholipid bilayers, and it is used very much for a lipid loaded group orientations, and it can be used for phase transitions in the lipid phases. Okay, so it has got a numerous study in the inorganic complexes, bones, rare earth materials, and plants and minerals. Okay, so the standard used in 31P NMR is H3PO4, phosphoric acid. Okay, so and the range for chemical shift is from 250 plus 250 ppm up to minus 250 ppm. So the range is almost very wide. Okay, so you have a very distinct peaks in the case of a 31P NMR spectroscopy. Okay, so similar to 13C NMR spectroscopy, here you will have a coupling between phosphorus to phosphorus, 31P to 31P, or you will have a coupling between phosphorus to H1. Okay, so both couplings will take place. Okay, but however, you can minimize the complexity by resonating the H1 nuclei. Okay, by there are techniques, as you know very well, double resonance technique and nuclear NOE, nuclear over-Husser effect. So through which you can simplify the nuclei. Okay, you can simplify the spectrum. Okay, the P1 and H1 can be coupled with proton. The 31P nuclei can couple with H1P. Can couple with H1P in various ranges. Okay, so it can be of 1 bond order range, or 2 bond order range, or a 3 bond order range. So as from 1 bond order range to another second bond order range, the coupling constant value decreases. Okay, so 600 megahertz for 1 bond order range, and 20 to 30 hertz for 2 bond coupling. As the distance increases, okay, this coupling constant value also decreases, but however you will find less values of 2 bond couplings, less number of 2 bond couplings when compared to 1 bond coupling is more predominant, but 3 bond coupling is almost very rare. And less than 1 hertz, you get 4 bond. So this 4 bond coupling is almost very rare. Okay, so 31P spectroscopy can be recorded without the interpretation of a H1 by proton decoupling method. Okay, hydrogen atoms generally attached to the 31P will have a shift from minus 4.76 to minus 5.24 ppm. Okay, so in the one thing we have forgotten is the radio frequency used for NMR. The 31 is 24.286. Okay, megahertz, and in 1.40 Tesla. Okay, so this is about 1/4 of the H1 NMR spectroscopy. Okay, so I hope this will be sufficient information regarding a 31P NMR spectroscopy, and let us also see a little about a 15N NMR. NMR. Okay, so 15N NMR. 15N is an isotope of a N14. N14 is a normal, and N15 is an isotope, but both are NMR active. But in 15N NMR, the I value is 1/2, whereas for N14 the I value is equal to 1. So there will be some case of quadrupole moment in the case of 14N NMR. Okay, whereas 15N NMR is divide of this quadrupole effect. The I value is 1/2. Okay, so natural abundance for 14N is 99.9%, whereas for N15 NMR it is 0.37%. N15 NMR possesses a very less value of natural abundance. Okay, almost it is lesser than 13C. Okay, whose natural abundance is 1.1%. This is even less than 13C, 0.37%. And G value for 15N is equal to minus 0.566. Okay, and RF used is equal to 6.079 in 1.402 Tesla. Okay, you can find this G value alarmingly very low, minus 0.566, which is 10% of H1. Okay, so G value for H1 is 5.585, almost 5.6 or 5.585. This is for H1. Okay, so this value is very low. So because of very poor natural abundance and very low gyromagnetic ratio, N15 spectrum is a very possessing, is a very less sensitive. Okay, and not as you may the intensities of the spectral lines are very poor. Okay, also not only this, signal to noise ratio, S/N ratio, in the case of N15 NMR is 300 times high. It is 300 times, S/N ratio is 300 times very high. Okay, so the resolution in the case of N15 spectra is very, very low. Okay, so the standard used and chemical shift value range, the chemical shift range from 900 ppm 0 to 900 ppm. Standard is nitromethane. Which give you 0 ppm, which occurs at 0 ppm. Okay, so the nitromethane can be used as a standard in N15 NMR. Okay, so then now we have learned three types of NMR nuclease. One is a 19F, okay, and which has got an 100% natural abundance and a very high G value, almost similar to that of a proton NMR. So it is a very sensible. Signal to noise ratio is very low in the case of 19F, and it is used in the study of fluorine containing organic compounds. And 31P, whose natural abundance is also 100%, okay, and GN value is when compared to H1 is in the middle average, so it is not a less sensitive, but N15 is a less sensitive nuclei. Natural abundance is 0.34% and it possesses a very low GN value. So as a result of this, okay, this becomes a very less sensible technique. Okay, you can use here for nitromethane as a standard to the range of about 0 to 900 ppm. Okay, so I hope this basic information will be sufficient for you. Okay, so with this we are completing the spin resonance spectroscopy. Okay, so I request you to go through this concepts of NMR and often. Okay, so you can refer molecular spectroscopy with Banwell and MECAS, which will be a very useful reference for you. And also you can refer molecular spectroscopy by P.S. Sindhu. Okay, so that will be very much helpful for you to learn about FT-NMR and F19 nuclei. Okay, so you will have to listen to this NMR topics often, frequently, so that you can understand the concepts very well. Okay, just by reading or giving a glance on these topics will be very difficult for you to follow. You will have to repeatedly go through it. Whenever you get some doubts and questions, you will have to ask me, okay, either directly or by the through comments. Okay, so with this we are completing this session. Thank you.